John's alarm didn't wake him up today. Instead, it was a strange, soft humming sound near his ear. He slowly opened his eyes, still half asleep. For a moment, everything felt normal until he felt something warm next to him in bed. He turned his head and froze. Lying beside him, under his blanket, was Lyra. His alien roommate. Her pale blue skin was glowing softly in the dim morning light. Her silver hair spread over the pillow, and her breathing sounded shallow, almost weak. She didn't move. She didn't speak. John's heart began to race. Why? Is she here? He thought. She never comes into my room, and definitely never into my bed. He carefully pulled back the blanket, and that's when he noticed something even stranger. There were glowing marks on Lyra's arms, like tiny symbols slowly moving across her skin. Her fingers clutched a small device, something John had never seen before, and its surface flashed with alien symbols. John sat up slowly, trying to remember last night. He remembered coming home late after a long shift at the spaceport, feeling tired. Lyra had been sitting on the couch reading a datapad, and they had said goodnight as usual. But what happened after that? His mind felt foggy. He reached out to gently shake Lyra's shoulder. "Hey, Lyra, wake up. Are you okay?" For a second, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, her eyes snapped open, glowing a strange golden color. Not their usual deep green dot. John jumped back, startled. "Lyra, what's wrong?" But her gaze didn't seem to focus on him at first. She blinked slowly, then her lips parted. Her voice sounded different, softer, but cold. "You are not authorized." John's confusion grew. Authorized? "What are you talking about, Lyra? It's me, John, your roommate." Lyra slowly sat up, her movements stiff and robotic. She looked at the strange device in her hands. As she touched it, a small hologram appeared above it, showing a planet that John didn't recognize, a world covered in dark oceans and glowing mountains. Strange alien writing scrolled beside the image. John's pulse quickened. He reached forward carefully. "Lyra, talk to me. Did something happen? Are you sick? What is this?" Finally, Lyra looked directly at him, her eyes returning slowly to green, but they were filled with fear now. "John, I don't know what happened. I woke up here too. I can't remember how I got here." John felt a chill run down his spine. Something was very wrong. He gently took the device from her hand. As soon as he touched it, the device flashed again and new images appeared. Scenes of Earth, pictures of humans, and even a picture of John himself. His throat felt dry. Why would this alien device show me? Before he could ask more, Lyra's hands grabbed his wrist tightly. Her grip was stronger than usual, almost painful. "John, they're coming," she whispered. "I can feel them." "Who's coming, Lyra? Tell me." But Lyra couldn't answer. Her body shivered, and the glowing symbols on her skin started fading. She seemed exhausted, falling back onto the pillow. John sat on the edge of the bed, holding the strange device in one hand and staring at Lyra. She looked peaceful again, almost normal, but he knew things were not normal anymore. His apartment felt different. The air was heavy, as if something unseen was watching. Suddenly, the device made a soft, beeping sound. And John noticed a small countdown starting on its screen. 0:59. 0:58. A timer. Panic rose inside him. A countdown for what? He shook Lyra again. "Wake up. What is this thing counting down to?" Lyra's eyes fluttered open, but she looked even weaker now. "John, it's too late. They know." "They, who knows?" "What's happening, Lyra?" But before she could answer, there was a loud knock at the front door. It was loud, too loud. Almost as if someone or something was hitting the door with metal fists. The timer continued to count down. 0:30, 0:29. John's mind raced. Should he hide? Should he run? Should he open the door? Lyra whispered one last thing before closing her eyes again. John, trust no one. John's hands were shaking as the loud knocks hit his door again. The device's timer showed only 10 seconds left. 0:10, 0:09, 0:08. His heart raced. He didn't know who or what was outside. And Lyra, his alien roommate, lay in bed looking pale, her glowing marks fading. Then, just as the timer reached 0 o'clock, a strange thing happened. The device in John's hand stopped blinking and made a soft humming sound. Suddenly, the front door, which was shaking just a second ago, became silent, completely silent. The knocking stopped. John slowly moved toward the door. Holding his breath, he looked through the peephole. Nothing. The hallway was empty. Confused, but relieved. John locked the door with shaking fingers. He turned back to Lyra, but something had changed again. Lyra was now sitting up on the bed, staring at him. But her eyes didn't look normal anymore. They looked blank, almost like glass. Her expression was empty. Lyra? John asked carefully. Are you okay? But Lyra didn't answer. She stood up slowly, her movements stiff, like a puppet. Her head tilted slightly, as if listening to something far away. Her lips moved silently, but no words came out. Suddenly, the strange device beeped again and projected a hologram, but this time it showed a small black cube floating in space, spinning, and around it, alien ships. John could feel that this was something important. The ships in the hologram didn't look peaceful. Their sharp, dark designs gave off a threatening feeling. Then Lyra finally spoke, but her voice sounded completely different now, deeper, mechanical. John, this is a warning, she said slowly. You must leave this place. You are not safe anymore. John felt chills down his spine. Lyra, what's going on? Why do you sound like that? But Lyra ignored his questions. She walked toward the window, staring at the morning sky. Then she said something that shocked him completely. They are coming for you. Not for me. John froze. For me? He thought. Why would aliens come for me? Lyra kept speaking in that robotic voice. The device has chosen you. The message was meant for you. The countdown was a test. John couldn't believe what he was hearing. A test. What test? Lyra, snap out of this. You're scaring me. Suddenly she turned and looked straight at him, her blank eyes slowly turning green again. For a few seconds she seemed normal, almost like herself. Her face softened. John, please help me. I can't control myself, she whispered, her voice returning to normal. Tears welled up in her eyes. Then her body shook violently and she fell to her knees. John ran to her side. Lyra, hold on. What's happening to you? Through her tears, Lyra whispered, something. Inside me. They put it inside me. I think they can see through me. John felt helpless, but he knew one thing. Something terrible was happening, and he had to protect Lyra. And himself. As he helped her back onto the bed, he noticed the strange glowing marks on her arms again. This time, they seemed to be moving. Faster, crawling like tiny creatures under her skin. Suddenly, Lyra grabbed his wrist with surprising strength. Her eyes locked onto his. You have to trust me now, she said urgently. You must hide the device. If they get it, Earth will not survive. John nodded, though confusion filled his mind. Before he could ask more, the lights in the apartment flickered. A deep humming sound filled the room, a sound he had never heard before. It felt almost alive. John's window began to glow faintly, and he realized the air outside was shimmering. As if something invisible was out there, watching Lyra. Whispered, They're here, John. They found us. John sat frozen beside Lyra, clutching the strange alien device tightly. The lights flickered again. That deep, low humming sound continued to fill the room, as if the walls themselves were vibrating. Suddenly, Lyra opened her eyes, but this time they were completely normal. Her skin still glowed faintly, but her expression was softer. She seemed awake, aware. John, she said weakly. I remember now. John leaned closer. Remember what? Please, tell me what's going on. Why are they after you? After us. Lyra took a deep, shaky breath and sat up slowly. There's something I never told you, John. I didn't come to Earth just to study humans or live peacefully. I came with a secret mission. John's stomach sank. A mission? What kind of mission? Lyra lowered her head, shame filling. Her face? I was sent here to spy on humans. But not just anyone. I was told to watch you. John's eyes widened. Me? Why me? She nodded. They told me you were special, they said. You might be the key to something very important. Something hidden inside humans. Something we don't understand yet. John felt a cold chill down his spine. What do you mean? What could possibly be special about me? Lyra looked at the alien device in his hands. That device you're holding, it's not just a tool, it's a key. It can unlock what my people call the hidden code. A code buried in the DNA of certain humans, and they believe you have it. John shook his head in disbelief. This can't be real. Lyra's face grew serious. It is, John. I didn't believe it either. Until last night, John thought hard. Last night? What happened last night? I can't remember anything clearly. Lyra closed her eyes as if searching her own memory. After we said goodnight, they contacted me. Not with words, but with something stronger. A signal. It was like they were inside my mind. They told me to activate the device, to test you, to see if your body would react. John's breath caught. React. How? Lyra hesitated before speaking. The device emits a signal that only a special human can sense. You don't remember, John, but you reacted. You touched it in your sleep. That's why I was drawn into your room. That's why I woke up next to you. Something inside you answered the device. John sat back, his mind racing. So, I'm some kind of experiment to them, he asked slowly. Lyra nodded. You're not just my roommate, John. You're part of a plan my people have been working on for decades. John stared at her, feeling anger and betrayal rise. Inside him? Why didn't you tell me this before? I trusted you, Lyra. Lyra looked at him sadly. I didn't know at first. When I arrived on Earth, they didn't explain everything. But last night, it all became clear. And now, it's too late. They're here, because you passed their test. The humming outside grew louder. John stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the sky looked strange. The air shimmered as if a heat wave was passing through. But it wasn't heat, it was something invisible. Hiding then, John noticed something else. Figure, tall, thin, standing just beyond the shimmer. Its outline was blurry, but its two bright glowing eyes were clear, and they were staring directly at him. John's blood ran cold. Lyra, they're watching right now, he whispered. She nodded. They've come to collect you, John, but they won't ask nicely. John turned around. Then, we can't stay here. We have to escape. Lyra struggled to stand, still weak from whatever they had done to her. There's more, she said quietly. That device. It doesn't just unlock the code. It sends a signal back to them. It tells them where you are. John's heart sank, so they know exactly where we are. Right now? Yes, Lyra whispered. But there's a chance, a small chance, that we can stop them. John took a deep breath. Tell me how. Lyra pointed to the device. You have to destroy it. But it won't be easy. The device is protected. If you try to break it, it could trigger something worse. John's mind was spinning. His whole life had felt normal just yesterday. He was just an ordinary human, living with an alien roommate who liked reading strange books and drinking glowing tea. But now, he was the target of an alien conspiracy. And the key to something he didn't even understand. Outside, the tall, shadowy figure stepped closer. John's fingers trembled as he held the alien device. Its glowing symbols spinning faster and faster, almost as if it was alive. Behind him, Lyra was standing again, but leaning on the wall for support. Her voice was weak, but determined. John, they're almost here. We can't stay. We must leave. Now. Before John could answer, there was a loud crack. The window next to him shattered inward, but nothing visible had touched it. Cold air rushed into the room. The shimmering shape outside had moved. Closer. John didn't hesitate anymore. He grabbed Lyra's arm and pulled her toward the back door of the apartment. His heart was racing. His mind was filled with questions, but there was no time for answers. As soon as they stepped into the hallway, the walls around them began to hum, just like the device in his hand. The air felt heavy, pressing against his chest. Lyra stumbled, but John caught her. We have to move faster, he said then. Without warning, the lights in the hallway flickered and went out completely. Total darkness. In the pitch black, John heard a strange metallic clicking sound. It echoed through the hallway, coming closer. John, Lyra whispered. They're here. John's instincts kicked in. He didn't wait to see who they were. He pulled Lyra down the emergency staircase, 2 steps at a time. Suddenly, a loud, mechanical voice echoed through the building. John Carter. You must surrender. Your DNA has been identified. You are chosen. The voice didn't sound human, and it didn't sound alien either. It sounded like a machine. John kept running, his breath heavy. His mind was spinning. Chosen for what? When? They reached the ground floor. John kicked open the back exit door, but he stopped cold. Outside, the entire street was empty. The air shimmered everywhere now, like an invisible curtain had fallen over the whole block. Lyra grabbed his hand tightly. We can't run on foot, she said. They're controlling the whole area now. John looked around desperately. His old hoverbike was parked near the dumpster. Without thinking, he helped Lyra onto it and jumped on behind her. The hoverbike roared to life, and that's when they finally saw them, figures, tall, thin, glowing faintly, stepping out of the shimmering air. Their faces were hidden by black helmets with bright, burning eyes. They carried strange weapons, weapons that hummed with energy. John twisted the throttle, and the hoverbike shot forward, barely avoiding one of the figures that lunged at them. As they raced down the street, Lyra clung to him tightly. Her voice was urgent, but full of fear. John, they are hunters. Special units sent only for the most important captures. They won't stop. John didn't look back. He focused on driving, weaving between invisible barriers in the street. He could see faint outlines where the air shimmered, traps or cloaks, but the device in his hand was glowing even brighter now, and strangely, it seemed to guide him. Its light pulsed faster whenever he steered toward a clear path. Lyra, the device. It's showing me where to go, he shouted. Lyra nodded. Of course. They never meant to lose you, John. The device was always meant to lead you. Back to them, John's mind raced. Was he just running exactly where they wanted him to go? Then suddenly the device beeped and a small hologram appeared again, but this time it showed a map, path, leading toward the old train tunnels. Under the city? That's it. John shouted, "We can hide there." Lyra looked doubtful. "Are you sure, John? The device could be tricking you." John took a deep breath. "I don't know. But it's our only chance." Behind them, he could hear the hunters' strange vehicles now, chasing fast, their engines howling like wild animals. They raced toward the edge of the street where the entrance to the old train tunnels lay abandoned. The gate was rusted shut. "Hold on," John yelled as he drove the hoverbike straight at the gate at the last second. The bike's front lifted and they crashed through the old gate with a shower of sparks. Darkness swallowed them as they entered the tunnels. The sound of pursuit faded. But John knew they wouldn't stop. The tunnels were dark, cold, and damp. The only light came from the alien device in John's hand. Its glow reflected in Lyra's tired eyes as she sat quietly on an old, metal bench beside him. John kept staring at the device's new countdown. 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 12 seconds. 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 11 seconds. 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 10 seconds. 24 hours. That's all they had. He looked at Lyra. Why? Would they give us exactly 1 day? Why not capture us right now? Lyra sighed and spoke softly. It's part of their plan. They want you to think you have a choice, but they expect you to run, to fear, and finally to surrender when you feel trapped. John clenched his jaw. I'm not surrendering. Lyra's face softened, but there was sadness in her eyes. They know that too, John. That's why this is a test. Not just for you, but for me. John frowned. For you? What do you mean? Lyra hesitated, as if she was ashamed. Then she spoke in almost a whisper. I wasn't just ordered to spy on you. I was ordered to make you trust me. John froze. The words hit him hard, like a punch in the stomach. All this time? He said slowly, you were pretending to be my friend. Lyra shook her head quickly. At first, yes, I followed orders. I reported everything about you, how you lived, how you thought, how you felt, but something changed. I didn't expect to care. John felt conflicted. Part of him wanted to run from her, to get as far away as possible. But another part, the part that remembered her laugh, their late-night talks, her curiosity about human life. That part wanted to believe her. He sat down next to her. Do you care now? Lyra didn't answer right away. Instead, she reached out and gently touched his hand. Yes, John, that's why I'm still here. I was supposed to deliver you to them, but I didn't. I couldn't. John looked into her eyes. He could see she was struggling, caught between her loyalty to her people and whatever she had begun to feel for him. Then she whispered something that made his heart race. There's another way. John leaned closer. Another way? Tell me, Lyra explained quietly. The device, it has a hidden function. If we can unlock it, we can send a false signal. Make them believe you've already been captured. It could give us enough time to disappear for good. John felt a flicker of hope. How do we unlock it? Lyra's face darkened. That's the problem. The unlock code is inside me. It was implanted when I left my planet. But it's dangerous. If I try to access it, I could die. John's eyes widened. No, there has to be another way. Lyra shook her head. There isn't. This is the only way to break their control over you. But you must trust me completely, John, even though I don't deserve your trust. John was silent for a long moment. Outside, somewhere far above the tunnels, he could hear faint humming sounds again, a reminder that the hunters were still out there, searching, waiting. Then he made a decision. He took her hand firmly. We'll do it together. I'm not letting you go through this alone. A small, sad smile appeared on Lyra's face. You really are. Different from what they believed. John nodded. Maybe that's why they're so afraid of me. Lyra sat cross-legged on the floor, holding the device carefully in her lap. Her fingers glowed faintly as she began to speak in a strange alien language, words that sounded like music and metal at the same time. The device responded. Its lights flickering faster, John watched closely, his heart pounding. But then, Lyra suddenly winced in pain. She grabbed her chest, gasping. John rushed to her side. Lyra, what's happening? She struggled to breathe, but forced the words out. Their override signal. They're trying to stop me. John felt panic rise in his chest, but he didn't let go of her hand. Stay with me. You can fight it. The device let out a strange sound, a high-pitched hum, and then a sharp click. The lights on its surface turned deep red. Lyra's breathing slowed, but she opened her eyes again. Her voice was weak, but steady. I did it, John. The false signal is ready. You have one chance now. If we act fast, we can escape Earth completely. But we'll have to trust each other fully. No more secrets. John held her close, realizing how much danger they both faced. But somehow, their bond felt real now, stronger than fear. For the first time, he truly understood. They were in this together. The tunnels felt colder now. John could feel moisture dripping from the ceiling as he helped Lyra to her feet. Her breathing was shallow, her skin pale and cool. But her eyes burned with determination. The alien device in John's hand was still glowing red, its countdown ticking. 23 hours, 30 minutes, and 59 seconds. 23 hours, 30 minutes, and 58 seconds. We don't have much time, Lyra whispered. Even with the false signal ready, they won't be fooled for long. We need to reach the underground exit before they seal it. John tightened his grip on the device. Where is it? Lyra pointed down a dark side tunnel. This way, but be careful. They might have sent drones inside already. John nodded. He could feel it too, that same low hum in the air that always signaled their presence. As they moved deeper into the tunnel, John noticed strange markings on the walls, glowing symbols, just like the ones that had appeared on Lyra's skin. They pulsed softly as they passed, almost as if they were watching them. Lyra? What are these symbols? He asked quietly. Lyra hesitated before answering. They are warnings. This place. This tunnel is ancient. It was built long before humans knew about aliens. The tunnels were used by others who tried to hide. And they failed. John felt a shiver down his spine. Suddenly, a sharp noise echoed behind them. A metallic clink-clink-clink, followed by the faint buzz of energy. They're here. Lyra whispered urgently. John grabbed her hand, and they ran. Their footsteps splashing through shallow water on the tunnel floor as they rounded a corner. John saw them. Drones, small. Spider-like machines with glowing red eyes crawling across the walls and ceiling, scanning for them. John froze. There were too many. Lyra pulled him toward a side passage. This way? Quickly. But before they could escape, one of the drones spotted them. Its eyes flashed, and a high-pitched alarm filled the tunnel. A voice boomed, mechanical and cold. Target acquired, John Carter. Without thinking, John raised the alien device and pointed it toward the drones. The device reacted instantly. Beams of light shot from its surface, striking the nearest drones and disabling them. Sparks flew as two drones fell into the water. Twitching, John stared at the device in awe. Can defend us? Lyra nodded quickly. Yes, but only for a short time. The device is linked to your DNA. Only you can use it this way. John's mind raced. Then we fight our way out. He stepped forward, the device in his hands glowing brighter. and aimed carefully at the remaining drones. With precise shots, he disabled 3 more, but more drones poured into the tunnel from behind. "We can't stay here," Lyra shouted. She pointed to a heavy steel door at the end of the passage. "That's the exit. If we can lock it behind us, we might buy enough." Time to reach the surface. John nodded and ran with her toward the door, firing at drones as he moved. As they reached the door, Lyra quickly tapped an alien code into the control panel. The old steel groaned loudly and slid open, revealing a long staircase leading up toward freedom. But just as they started climbing, a loud crash echoed behind them. John turned and saw a tall figure step through the smoke and sparks. A hunter. Unlike the drones, this one was huge, almost 7 feet tall, wearing black armor that shimmered strangely in the dim light. Its face was hidden behind a dark visor, but its burning red eyes locked directly onto John. The hunter raised a strange weapon, a staff that crackled with blue energy. John knew they couldn't outrun it. "Go," he shouted at Lyra. "Climb, I'll hold it off." But Lyra refused. She grabbed his arm. "No, we fight together." The hunter moved quickly, faster than John expected, and swung its staff toward them. John raised the device just in time. A shield of light appeared around them, but the force of the impact threw both of them backward, crashing into the wall. Lyra coughed but pulled herself up, her expression fierce. "John, we must end this now." She reached out and touched the device with both hands. Suddenly, the lights on its surface changed again, from red to white, and the entire tunnel glowed. The hunter froze for a moment, as if confused. John understood. "You're overloading it, aren't you?" Lyra nodded. "If I do this, it will disable them all. A pie might not survive the feedback." John felt panic. There has to be another way. "Don't." But before he could stop her, Lyra whispered, "Trust me, please." The device pulsed with a blinding white light, and a shockwave ripped through the tunnel. The hunter was thrown backward, crashing into the far wall. All the drones sparked and fell silent. Silence filled the tunnel. But Lyra collapsed into John's arms. John sat on the cold tunnel floor, cradling Lyra in his arms. Her skin, usually a soft, pale blue, looked almost gray now. The glowing marks on her arms had faded completely, but she was breathing barely. The alien device, once glowing with strange symbols, now looked dead. Its lights were out, but the countdown still continued on its dark surface. 23 hours, 5 minutes, and 23 seconds. 23 hours, 5 minutes, and 22 seconds. John could feel every second slipping away. "Lyra," he whispered, gently shaking her shoulder. "Please. Stay awake. We're almost free." Her eyes fluttered open. She gave a weak smile. "John, you survived. The hunters are gone. For now." John nodded. "You saved me." She winced. As she tried to sit up, "We have to keep moving. They'll send more." The countdown? It's not just for them to return. It's a signal to decide your future. John frowned. "My future? What do you mean?" Lyra reached for the device with shaking fingers. "The device holds your choice. You can unlock the code they seek, become what they wanted, or you can destroy it completely and lose everything they fear." John felt his heart sink. "What happens if I destroy it?" Lyra's voice was soft. "If you destroy it, you will remain human, free from their control. But if you unlock it, you may gain powers beyond anything on Earth. You will no longer be ordinary. You will become part of them, but also their target forever." John looked at her, realizing what she was saying. He had to choose power or freedom. He helped Lyra stand, and together they climbed the metal staircase slowly. Every step felt heavy, as if the decision was weighing on him. At the top of the stairs was a metal door. Through the cracks he could see daylight. They had made it. But before he could open the door, Lyra stopped him. She touched his face gently, her hand trembling. "John, if you choose power, they'll never stop hunting you. If you choose freedom, we can hide. But you'll lose the chance to protect Earth in ways no human can." John took a deep breath. "What would you choose, Lyra?" He asked. Her answer came without hesitation. "I would choose freedom, with you. But this is not my choice to make." He looked down at the device in his hand. The countdown neared its final minute. 0 hours, 1 minute, and 1 second. 0 hours, 1 minute, and 0 seconds. His mind raced. He thought about everything he had learned about the secret hidden in his DNA, about Lyra's betrayal and sacrifice, about the alien hunters who would never stop. Then he made up his mind. John lifted the device high and slammed it against the steel wall. It cracked, sparks flew. A sharp, high-pitched sound echoed through the tunnel. Lyra gasped. "John, what are you doing?" But John didn't stop. He hit it again and again, until the device shattered. Completely, the countdown froze at 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 12 seconds, and then the numbers disappeared forever. Suddenly, the air felt lighter. The strange hum that had filled the air since the beginning was gone. John dropped the broken pieces of the device on the ground and turned to Lyra. "I choose freedom." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Lyra smiled a real smile, full of warmth and relief. Together, they pushed open the door. Sunlight poured over them as they stepped into the open air. The street was quiet. No shimmering shapes. No drones. No hunters. It was finally over, or so they thought. In the distance, John noticed a figure standing under a tree. A short, hooded figure, not a hunter. It held a small device, almost identical to the one he had destroyed. It raised a hand in a silent wave, and then disappeared, fading like smoke. John felt a chill. He realized something important. They may have lost this battle, but they were still watching. Lyra gently squeezed his hand. "We'll stay hidden. We'll live, and we'll stay together." John nodded. "Yes, together."